Hello, welcome to Easyway 4th HTML and CSS tutorial. Me, Aftab. Today, I'll show you various methods of writing CSS in our HTML file. So, as I discussed earlier that there is three ways to write a CSS in HTML file. I'm gonna show you all the three ways and describe you a little bit about it. Okay. So let's start with internal CSS. So internal CSS, in internal CSS we will use a tag called style, and this style tag we need to write it inside our head section. So this is our head section, and here we will write style tag, and as this is a paired tag, we need to close it by this /style. So this is our style section, and inside this section we need to write all our style stuffs. Okay, so this thing is called internal CSS. Okay, next one is inline CSS. We can use inline CSS with every tag, okay, by a special attribute called style. So every tag has a style attribute, like in body we can write here a style, and by using a style attribute we can use inline CSS. So inline CSS is worked only for those tags in which we actually write the style attribute. Style attribute inside here, inside this section, inside that double quotation mark, we can write all our style elements. Okay, but it will work only for this particular tag. It is a dedicated styles. Okay, it will only work for this, and it will not share by others. Okay, so by means of using a style attribute we can use style in our tag, and this type of style including in HTML is called inline CSS. Okay, so move on to the next part. Next part is external CSS. External CSS is the best method for including CSS into our HTML file. So in this method we generally write our CSS code in a CSS file, and make a link of that CSS file with our HTML document. It looks like we can use, actually we need to use a special tag called link, and that tag also we need to inside our head section. So link is a tag, and here we need to define two attributes. One is rel, is style sheet, and another is href, equal the name of the file.css. So you might thinking, what is this stuff? Okay, so let me tell you. Link is a tag. This is a standalone tag. We don't need to close it by its pair. So link tag uses here we use two attribute. One is rel and another is href. So you might be thinking, what is this rel, what is this href? So rel is a short form of relation. Link tag can be used for various other methods, for various other purposes. Here we use it for including a style sheet in our HTML file. So style sheet is a relation. Okay, style sheet is a relation of this including file. So you know that the CSS stands for cascading style sheets. So rel establish a relation. Okay, and we define the value of this attribute is a style sheet. The link tag also can be used for including Google Publisher in our HTML file. If we running a website, then there we need to use Google Publisher. So link tag can be used to add Google Publisher in our site. So their relation will be the publisher. So you can understand now what rel is. Next part is href. So href is a very powerful and very useful attribute. It is a very important attribute actually. So href or href stands for hyper reference. Okay, so it is the hyper reference which hyperlinks a file to here we hyperlink our HTML file to our HTML document, or sorry, the CSS file to our HTML document. So hyper reference tag is hyper reference attribute is used to link our file. So it is actually hyperlinked now. So this is actually inside our hyper reference attribute. We need to write the CSS file or the file name and the extension. Here we need to include the CSS file. That's why we are giving the .css extension. This extension is used for CSS file. So this is the way we can include the external CSS into our HTML document. So this is the three way to including style sheets or style CSS coding in our HTML document. So let me tell you other sections. Okay, CSS uses three way to represent or writing our codes in CSS. First one is ID, second one is class, and third one is the tag name itself. We can write the CSS by means of using ID, using class, and using the tag name like body. So to writing ID, we need to add a hash before the name of the ID. Okay, and make two curly braces here. Inside this section we need to add all our CSS for that particular ID. To write class, we need to add a dot before the class name and add the same curly braces, and inside this here we can write all our style for that class. And for tag name, we don't need to add any special character before that. Just using the tag name, use the curly brace, and we can ready to add the CSS coding. But you need to know that for using tag name, which property, which the CSS property we will use inside there, that will be applicable for all the tags wherever we can use it through our the HTML file. So where it finds this name of the tag inside our HTML document, it will be applicable. The CSS property written here will be applicable for all the tags, okay, which matches this name, this tag name. Now ID, there will be a attribute called ID. Okay, so here we can define the name of the ID here, which is this, and we can write it here and that property, CSS property, which will be written here, will be applicable for this, and we can separate it. Okay, next one is the class. There will be a attribute called class, and we can use the class name here for using the CSS property we write here inside the class name. So if we add this here, we will be ready to use the properties of written here. So you might be thinking, ID is a attribute, class is also attribute, and we are writing CSS code inside ID, inside class, so why do we need both of it? Okay, so let me clarify that. ID is unique and class can be referenced multiple times. Okay, so that is the main difference between ID and class, nothing else. We can use ID for its unique behavior. Okay, it can be used for unique purposes, and class can be used for multiple times. Okay, we can use a multiple class inside our class, or multiple class inside our class tag, and single ID here. Okay, like you can say that if we have a class called C1, then we can add another class called C2, then we need to give a space between C1 and C2, and both the class will work here. Both the CSS property which we write for C1 and for C2 will also work in our body tag. So guys, I will tell you more about it. We will catch up it later, so don't need to worry about it. I will tell you each and everything, and the easy way. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.